So tonight's format is going to be the following. Each candidate will be given 90 seconds to respond following the completion of each question. And I will read each question twice. Questions will be randomly drawn from both prepared questions submitted to our office and those here this evening. Each candidate will be allowed 3 minutes for opening statements at the podium, followed by questions being answered while seated. To allow for more individual and original responses from each candidate, without concern of restating a similar response for the 6th, 7th, or even 8th time, we have divided the candidates into 2 groups. Each candidate has drawn a number, and each group will be designated by their chosen even or odd number. When the first group is on stage, the other group will remain in a separate room, unable to hear the questions or answers provided. All right, at this time, I'm going to reach into our magic bag of poker chips. I drew out number 8, even. So Audrey West, who works in our office, is backstage, so she will be bringing out the even number groups to begin with. The candidates drew numbers, and we will start with the lowest number that the candidate drew, and then we'll move on from there. Good evening, candidates. At this time, I'll ask each one of you to come forward. We'll be moving towards the podium. You'll have 3 minutes at the podium to make opening remarks. Gentlemen in the front row in front of us will be keeping time. You'll have 3 minutes for the opening statements. You'll have 90 seconds for each statement, or for the statements following the questions. You'll have notification with 30 seconds remaining, notification with 10 seconds remaining, and then Sean in the front row has permission to start throwing things up here when we hit the 90-second mark. Okay? So with that, I would like to introduce Patty Fagan first to the podium. Please join me in welcoming Patty.
Thank you for the opportunity for me to share a little bit about myself with you tonight. Running for school board is not a decision I took lightly. In fact, I thought about it for many years. My desire to serve on the board stems from my pride for this community, my passion for the success of this district. I feel that my education, professional experience, and interest to serve the community make me a strong candidate for the school board. I have no personal agenda, no political motivations, just a genuine desire to serve this community and do what I can to make USD 231 the best district it can be. I've been a proud resident of Gardner for the last 16 years. My husband Jay and I have a daughter who's a sophomore here at the high school, and we have boy-girl twins in 7th grade at Wheatridge. We've always taken an active role in our children's education. It didn't take me long to figure out that this district is full of passionate, talented educators who give up themselves every day to help our young people succeed. The district has celebrated many successes over the years, and I feel very fortunate that my children are a part of it. But like any successful organization, there is room for improvement. I'm up for the challenge to help this district grow with the community and achieve continued success. Over the years, I've developed relationships with many teachers and building administrators simply through being involved, being visible, willing, and able to assist. Several years ago, I discovered Site Council, which is really what has given me true insight into the monumental task it is to educate our young people. If you want to feel connected and know what's going on in our schools, I suggest attending Site Council meetings. Every school has them. As a direct result of my participation in Site Council, my interest in school operations, and my professional background, I was asked to participate on the District Finance Committee. I've attended 6 meetings, and I'm in the process of gaining an understanding of the complexities of district finance. My professional experience has allowed me to develop many of the skills needed to be a successful member of the Board of Education. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I work as an insurance underwriter for Zurich, a global insurance company. My primary responsibilities include risk selection, pricing, and profitability oversight for a large book of specialty insurance products. However, over the course of my 18-year career with Zurich, I've gained experience in several business disciplines. I've taken advantage of many opportunities for continuing education and have achieved a number of professional designations. I'm fortunate to work for a company that values professional development and employee satisfaction. I'd like to take a quick moment to let you know what I'm about at a high level. I'm a person with a history of building constructive relationships based on mutual trust and respect, a person who faces challenges and embraces opportunities to learn and grow, a person who is open-minded and interested in the views and opinions of others, and a person who is willing to work hard to make a positive contribution to this community and the school district. It would be my honor to serve this community on the Board of Education. I appreciate your vote on April 2nd. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, Rob Shipping. Please join me in welcoming Rob.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rob Shipping. I'm a graduate here from Gardner. I graduated in 1996. My wife was also a graduate from Gardner. Have a strong vested interest in the community. Volunteer firefighter here in the community for the past 16 years. And really want to give back to the community in yet another way. I owe a lot to the community, the school district, for the various opportunities that have been afforded to me. Plus, I think a couple of teachers I owe some sincere apologies to over the years, so I thought this might be a good place to make them. So, as I thought about running, I was thinking, what are the things that are important to me? Sustainability. This is a great school district. I have 2 kids that are in the school district now, both at Nike, Gracie and Chloe, one in kindergarten, one in the 2nd grade. I want them to have the same opportunities and have the same pride that me and my wife share from graduating from the school district. If any of you want to know, my wife did graduate a few years after me. I went ahead and opened the catalogs out back there to the year she graduated. She's one of the bangs. I'll probably be in trouble for that later. But, I think it's an important role of the school board to make sure that we provide for our future, we provide vision, to make sure we can sustain the test of time. I think we're going to face serious issues in the next years to come as we see declining revenues. Dr. Fieldhouse is working very diligently to try and keep us at that high level. We want to keep our teachers at our tier. We want to keep those pay scales in place to keep them here. We don't want to lose them to the other school districts in the area. That's what makes this community so great, is the school district. What draws people here. I was talking to a lady today that said she moved to this community simply because of the school district. And that's great. We have some pretty tough competition in the area. Shawnee Mission School District, both phenomenal as well. And she chose Gardner. So that's something I want to see continue. I want that same opportunity for my kids as we go on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Brett Weimer. Please help me in joining Brett.
Good evening. My name is Brett Lyman, and I'm running for election to USD 231, Board of Education in District 2. My wife Shelby and I lived with our 2 kids in Gardner for over 10 years. Flora's in 8th grade and attends Pioneer Ridge Middle School. Matthew's in 4th grade and attends Nike Elementary. I'm employed by Sprint and has worked there as a software engineer for over 15 years. My wife drives a bus for First Student, transporting our kids to our 231 schools, field trips, and sporting events. If elected to the Board of Education, I will continually work to promote transparency, to obtain greater fiscal responsibility, and to facilitate increased accessibility to all USD patrons. I'm a candidate that will work to represent what most people in our district want and need, with and without children in school, rather than being self-serving or representing only a small group of people. Increased transparency is more than just posting documents onto the district website. It's a behavior that's created. The entire culture of the Gardner Edgerton School District comes from the administration and Board of Education. I consider myself to be informed, open-minded, not intimidated by members of the administration or patrons of the district. Because of this, I believe I can interact well with groups of people, all groups of people having a stake in USD 231. Fiscal responsibility keeps the focus of USD 231 on the education of our kids. I will look at every dollar and ask, how does it help or benefit the students? When discussing budget items, I will consider changes from all areas, from administration costs as well as activities and programs. If elected, I will ask the Board of Education for a vote to approve the legislative audit of the Gardner Edgerton School District, This mechanism is a free performance audit done by the state of Kansas. It will measure our district against other similar school districts, comparing where spending occurs, and make recommendations to our district on how to use our money more efficiently. Expanded accessibility will allow for improved communication within our school district. I will openly welcome input from teachers, parents, and residents within USD 231. When public information is made difficult to obtain, or district employees are intimidated and afraid to approach board members, it negatively affects our culture. I will work to make the Board of Education more accessible and easier to interact with. Our teachers deserve to work in an environment that is conducive for them to focus on the education of our children. It would be an honor to be elected to help USD 231, and I ask for your support in the general election on April 2nd. Please vote for Brett Leimer, District 2. Thank you.
And the final candidate in the first group, Mary Nelson.
Good evening. My name is Mary Nelson, and I'm a candidate for Position 4 in District 1 for the Gardner Edgerton School Board. I'd like to begin by thanking everyone for attending. Also, I'd like to thank all the outstanding teachers that have made this district a great district for our children. These teachers are very committed to the students, and I really appreciate that. Also, I want to thank all the staff and administrators, along with the current school board. You have done a wonderful job. And in addition, I want to thank the Gardner Area Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum, and the Gardner Edgerton High School for providing the auditorium for tonight's event. And plus, I need to thank all my family and friends for supporting me. Now, a little bit about myself. I've been happily married for 26 years, and Greg and I both have our two wonderful children. Both have attended USD 231. My son Grant graduated from Gardner Edgerton High School in 2010. He's currently a student at UMKC. Michaela is a junior here at Gardner Edgerton High School. I was born and raised in this community. I graduated here in 1982, a long time ago. I received a bachelor's degree in business administration from Emporia State in 1985. I've been in banking since I graduated, so over 27 years. I am currently Senior Vice President, loan officer with the bank in town. I have several years' experience working with budgets, reviewing financial statements. I also have experience in management, managing staff. I believe this knowledge will be very beneficial in working with the district and reviewing budgets and analyzing its revenues and expenditures. I believe one should be involved within their community, and that is why I volunteered so often and with so many groups and organizations. To name a few, I'm the past chairman of the Gardner Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm also currently the chairman of Johnson County Rural Water District Number 7, president of the Gardner Edgerton High School Site Council, and a board member for the Festival on the Trails. People ask me why I'm running for school board. In the beginning, I responded by saying I was running because I wanted to get back to the community. And this is a district that I'm very, very proud of. But as time has passed, I realized that I'm not running so to give back. I'm also running to keep the focus on the district and the quality education, and I want to support the teachers, the students, and the staff. I want to build on the success that this district already has achieved and work with our community to remain proud of the quality schools. Change in our school district and community is inevitable. However, some might want to change things just because they can, not because it is in the best interest of the entire district and the community. I think we all agree that we have one of the best districts in the state, and I want to keep the focus on our students, on our teachers, on our staff. I want to continue providing quality education to all students that attend USD 231. Again, thank you for attending tonight. I look forward to serving you. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to ask Patty if she would grab the microphone there to her right. And we'll start with Rob, since Patty was the first to give her introduction. Again, I know that disappoints you, Patty. I can see that on your face. Okay, we will begin. Again, I'll read each question twice, and then our timekeepers here in the front will keep us on track. All right, question number 1. What is your understanding of the role of a school board, and more specifically, a school board member? What is your understanding of the role of a school board, and more specifically, a school board member?
The role of the school board is to provide a direction with the collaboration of the staff and administration of the school district. Without that, everybody's just kind of going their own direction. The school board provides the oversight. They also communicate with the community and the citizens in it to ensure that their needs, their wants, their concerns are being addressed within that school district. Specifically, the role of the school board member is to be proactive in making sure that happens. That's not only attending board meetings, but it's going out and seeking additional information when topics arise that might be somewhat confrontational or a hot button issue. Simply showing up to the meeting and grabbing the information, you can't make informed decisions. You need to be out there finding that information to make sure that you're making an informed decision and being able to speak intelligently about what's going on. Thank you. Rick?
Still on? Okay. The role of the school board, and I agree with some of what Robin had said. It is to show some oversight of district operations. It's also to engage with the patrons of the district and work with them to keep everything public. Sometimes I think certain people want more information and they seem to have a hard time getting it. I don't think that should be the case. Since we're a public district, I think everything should be as open and accessible as possible. And I think that's the primary job of the board to make that happen. Thanks.
School board members should kind of help set with the policies and stuff that the schools follow. There's others that are thinking that maybe we shouldn't do all that, but we set the policies, we help oversee what's going on, but we hire the administrators and our superintendent that actually work the day-to-day. So we're kind of there to help facilitate to some degree, but our role is to be there to set the policies and be active with the community, be active with the schools.
The primary roles and responsibilities of a school board member are to develop and oversee district policy. Some of those things would include the educational programs and development and monitoring of those programs, helping oversee student assessment, employee relations, including hiring, budget adoption, revenue and expenditure management. Also important to engage in the community. The activities of the board should directly represent the priorities of the community. So obviously being accessible and available to engage the community is a very important role.
Very good, thank you. All right, Brett, you'll be on first on this one. Question. Based on test scores, state and federal awards and recognitions, and the accomplishments of our many student organizations and athletic teams, I think we all agree that USD 231 is a top quality district among the greater Kansas City metro area. What would you define as the biggest change or improvement you feel necessary to make if elected to the school board? Again, based on test scores, state and federal awards and recognitions, and the accomplishments of our many student organizations and athletic teams, I think we all agree that USD 231 is a top quality district among the greater Kansas City metro area. What would you define as the biggest change or improvement you feel necessary to make if elected to the school board?
Good question. I do agree that by those measures, we do excel as a district. Numerous accolades, both academically and on sports fields. We should be very proud of that. I think one thing that should be done to make our own district better would be more wide open accessibility. I know a lot of USD 231 employees and other people that work within the district have mentioned to me on and off that they don't feel the board is approachable as much as they should be. I know some people try to attend board meetings and gauge what's going on by seeing that. I don't think a whole lot of information is always gleaned from that. I think we can do a better job making things more accessible, more public, and more open. Thank you.
What I'm going to say is, I really don't want to go in and say I need to change this and this and this, kind of like in my opening remarks. I'm not going to change something just because we can change it. I think being a board member, you need to research, and if it makes sense, then do it. That would be my first approach. Some of the things that I would like to see maybe not changed, but maybe implemented, looked at is, again, communication open, keeping that line open, special education services and stuff. I had the pleasure of studying in with some teachers, and it's a neat program that we have, and I think it benefits our school, and I'm proud of that, to have that here in the school, so I'd like to keep doing that. The other thing is, I'd like to see, like I said, I'm throwing this out, if it makes it, is more classes for kids in the high school, challenge classes, things like that, to make our kids better prepared when they get into the real world, whether it's college, their career, or whatever. That's what I would see.
I'm going to echo some of the comments already made, that we are very fortunate to have such a wonderful school district. Lots of successes, absolutely. I don't think the school district is broken. I think there are areas for improvement. I think that one area that I think would be wonderful to explore is some more community outreach. I know that there is a program right now for our life skills kids that places some of those students in jobs, in real life opportunities, lets them build the skills that they need to go into the workforce. I think a great opportunity would be to open that up to other students and give all students opportunities to get some community outreach opportunities, gain some real life skills. If they're interested in, insurance, for example, hook them up with somebody who's doing insurance as a profession. Medical, if they're having interest in medical professions, hook them up with someone who can help them to develop that interest.
Go along to the candidates. I think we are a great school district. Mr. Brady always taught us that students, there's always room for things that we can improve. For me, the biggest thing is not so much transparency, because I think if people ask the questions, they can get those answers if they truly seek them. But at the same time, we need to be open with those discussions. Each decision made at the school district revolves around basically 4 values in any public government: social equity, individual rights, efficiency, and political responsiveness. And we need to have those discussions open and freely, whether at the board meetings, whether on a Facebook page, through social media, whatever it be, so everybody can have an opportunity to understand exactly the challenges facing the school district. There are no perfect answers in public service. For those of you that work in public government have had the opportunity like I have, there's not a one-fits-all size answer. There's always going to be somebody that's dissatisfied with the action of the school district in one shape, form, or another. I think it's important that we keep that in mind, but also keep them informed as to why those decisions are made. And I'm not saying it's an easy job, but it's something that has to be tackled. Efficient government doesn't necessarily make great government.